e-shopping is becoming a trend in this 21st century. I believe all of you had heard of Taobao, Carousel, eBay, and many more. However, did you all know that eBay had once planned to dominate the China market, but it failed miserably? So now, let me introduce myself. I'm Jianwei, and today, me and my group mate Shui Xingwei are going to present you our findings on the intercultural communication, in which we have chosen a topic, how eBay failed in China. First of all, I'll be giving an overview of eBay and some brief idea of the business model approach into the China, as well as some competition they have faced. Next, Shui will be touching on the intercultural difference which lead to the failure of eBay in China. Lastly, Xingwei will be covering on the lesson learned of this case study and give us some take-home message. Okay, before I further elaborate the background of eBay, I would like to bring your attention to several business models. So the first, B2B, business to business. It was used by the company to sell products to another company online or vice versa. Next, B2C, business to consumer. What does it mean? It simply means that consumers can buy any products online from the company that's selling them. For instance, it's just like we, the consumers, buying our daily necessities from the supermarket. Next, consumer to consumer. In this C2C business model, it is what we are familiar with nowadays. Why do I say so? By using this model, we can become our own boss and make money from it. One can either buy or sell any products online. So now, let us know more about eBay. eBay is an e-commerce company providing an online auction and shopping website, and it was founded by this guy, Pierre Omidyar. So in year 1998, it went on the world's second largest stock exchange market, Nasdaq. And after that, it started foreign operation in 30 over more countries and recorded more than 200 million users by the year 2002. As I mentioned earlier, eBay had shown interest to enter the China market. So how? In year 2003, eBay acquired HW0310, which is based in China, with the aim to take out all major market competitors and to dominate the China C2C market. So the transaction between the consumers are electronically facilitated through a third party, and they usually will charge a commission upon every successful transaction. So the third party in this case are SecurePay and PayPal. At the same year, as a defensive strategy, Alibaba Group, which is based in China, launched Taobao to compete in the C2C market. Not to make any money, but to fend off eBay from taking away their customer. Taobao means digging for treasure in Chinese. It was formally launched and set a free of charge policy for individual buying or selling virtually any consumer goods. So by March 2006, Alibaba Group outpaced eBay and became the leader in the China C2C market. So to conclude my part, I would like to give you a better overview of this timeline of the whole case study. So in year 1995, eBay was founded and went public in 1998. In the year 1999, Alibaba was founded and HW0310 was also established. Between the year 2002 and 2003, eBay invested several millions and bought over HW0310. And as mentioned, as a defensive strategy, Taobao was launched, and several months later, they also launched an integrated payment system known as Alipay. And PayPal was introduced in year 2005. And by March 2006, Taobao outpaced eBay. And after a few months later, eBay actually gave up and they folded their entire operation in China. Thus, Taobao has become the main e-commerce company in China. So now, I shall pass the time to Shui to further elaborate how eBay failed in China. Thank you.
Thank you, Jianwei. So now I'll be talking about a few main highlights on how actually eBay failed in China. First up is localization. eBay was actually very confident that they would actually excel in the Chinese market before they even entered. So firstly, however, they actually made a mistake because they brought in English-speaking personnel, a German manager to lead the Chinese operation, and also a chief or technological officer from the United States. Neither of them could actually speak Chinese or actually understood the Chinese market. They even brought in the Western business practices which was actually actually they thought that it would work the same way as it did back home. Upon acquiring HNet, eBay actually changed its worldwide system, to their worldwide system. As you can see from this picture, before it got acquired by eBay, they actually have a few different headers such as like menswear and ladies wear. However, upon acquisition eBay HNet, they actually had two different headers to be buyers and sellers. Next is advertising. eBay actually advertised online. They wanted to prevent Taobao from doing the same thing, so they actually collaborated with China's three largest portals, Sina, Sohu, and NetEase. This actually did prevent Taobao from advertising online. However, Taobao knew that the market for consumers were actually more focused on television, so they Taobao advertised on television where it really mattered. Next is web design. We actually can see from this that Taobao's website was actually more localized, using the colors orange and red. They actually make their website more noisy and more informative. As you can see in contrast, eBay's website was actually very plain and simple and only had two headers, which was actually buyers and sellers. Next is customer service. Taobao actually had a customer hotline where actually consumers could actually call to seek for assistance. They also had Alibaba, which actually gives direct communication to buyers and sellers. Alibaba also actually had two main advantages because one, buyers could actually communicate to sellers directly and ask whether they could negotiate the prices. Next is that because eBay only had could be connected through email, which was a very disadvantage as during that time the locals were actually not very familiar with internet, and having a customer hotline would actually have been very beneficial for them. Taobao, sales static. So both eBay and Taobao actually had a escrow service, which was a third-party service. Taobao actually had Alipay, which was a very which was actually very good as they actually worked with several leading logistic companies to give Alipay users exclusive deals. eBay had SecurePay and PayPal, which was very confusing for users as they had two different payment methods. eBay also charged users 1 to 5% transaction fees. This actually contributed like 80% of their revenues. However, Taobao did not have any transaction fees, so actually 80% of their revenues actually came from advertising. In 2006, Taobao actually surpassed eBay in their market shares. By doing so, Taobao actually wanted to eliminate eBay once and for all from China. So what they did was they had a different tactic. At first, there are no transaction fees were actually for the first 3 years. But they announced that the no transaction fees will be renewed for another 3 years. eBay did not follow this as they felt that free wasn't their business model. So by doing so, eBay actually folded by the end of 2006. For now, I'll pass my time to Xinwei to talk more about the lesson learned and also take home message for us.
Thank you, Shui. So here are some of the main points from lectures that we find that is relevant to our case study. First off, culture. There are two main points to this culture. First is learning and understanding our own culture. Like Taobao, they know their own culture because they established their own company in China to the Chinese people. So they were able to appeal more to their own citizens to using Taobao. The second point is learning about other cultures. eBay know little about the Chinese culture. That's why their method did not work as well as how they did back in their home. Next, learning foreign phrases. It is not like you have to learn a whole new foreign language to start working or start an operation in a foreign land. Of course, it will be of advantage if you learn a foreign language, but I'm sure if you work long enough in a foreign land, it is not difficult to pick up the foreign language. So why do we need to learn foreign phrases? It is a minimal effort one can put in, but it is always nice to hear someone foreign speaking our own native language. It kind of show a positive impression of yourself. Next, viewing diversity as an opportunity. What is diversity? Diversity is a variety of differences in the workplace. It consists of many things such as gender, age, background, different education, and many other more. How people view you is different from how you view others, and these perceptions of yours may affect the way you interact with one another. So how does diversity have got to do with our case study? eBay didn't see that the difference in culture was a hinder to them. they didn't view it as a hindrance to them. So they think they can still work the same way as how they did back in home in China as well. They refuse to change to adapt to the Chinese citizens. So this resistance of them to change is actually really common around us even now. We have always been doing this like that, what? Is this familiar, this phrase? This phrase actually will silence a lot of new ideas and hinder any progress. Next, avoiding assumptions. There are two main forms of assumptions. One is assuming others, and another one is assuming for ourselves. In this case, eBay assumed that they were the best at that time. So they didn't want to change. They think that they can stick to their own global platform and still work the same way and can still work the same as how they did back at home and in China. They think that they can send in non-speaking Chinese personnel to China to hold their operations. Some may think that their actions are confidence of themselves, but do keep in mind that being confident and complacent is just a very thin line between them. Next is observe. It's only through observing that we know what others think of us and what we can improve on. If eBay at that time had paid more attention to the Chinese citizens, I'm sure that their market would not have folded in 2006. So to end our presentation, we would like to say, the world is a big place. It is full of differences and diversity. What we think, how we see others are affected by our own cultural perspectives. How others see us are by their own cultural perceptions. So what happens when we speak? Do the other party really understand and get what we want to convey to them in the first place? In today's global business environment, it is essential for us to pick up skills to learn how to navigate across this cultural landscape. So, first off, we must have a good understanding of how different cultures trade and do business. Second, how different cultures manage their people. And third, how different cultures communicate. We have to undertake this journey to understand different cultures. And from them, gain cultural intelligence, and so we can communicate confidently in different cultures. Thank you.
Question? Anyone?
You know why the Chinese only, because you said that Taobao was advertising a small popular than television, right? You know why the Chinese pay more attention to these two?
Because at that point of time, internet wasn't very advanced in China, so they weren't very familiar with internet. So television was a better.
The main mode of advertising.
Can I just ask if Taobao is successful in other countries?
Taobao is not. It is successful in other countries, but it is the most successful in their own country. Like they have a saying, they are like the crocodile in the Yangtze River. They would not. Then the eBay is like the shark in the ocean. So if they compete in the ocean, they will definitely lose. But if they compete in their own river, they will definitely win.
Why did Jack Ma have to come up with Taobao as a defense
Strategy.
Yeah, as a defense. I don't understand why does it have to be a defense strategy?
Because
It's kind of a nationalistic idea.
no, because at first they felt the threat that he, as a Chinese, he should really do something for your country. And at that point of time, Alibaba.com is not a C2C platform. It's just to B2C. It's like as a consumer, I just buy stuff from this particular company. So at that point of time, eBay come in as a C2C business model. So they launched this Taobao as a same platform C2C to compete with them.
But I thought Taobao is not exactly C to C, right? It's more B to C.
I think when they started out, it was C2C, so to actually
Because if you look at Taobao, the website, right, a lot of it is, basically small companies selling their stuff and not so much. I think that there is C2C, but it's not as much as B2C.
Yeah, but I think when they started, because eBay actually has more of their auction models, meaning is consumer to consumer, because they want to have this auction. Most of their revenue actually came from auction models. So I think Taobao wanted to match up to it.
But Taobao is not an auction platform, right?
I think when they started out,
Because apparently Chinese people don't like auctions.
new products, yeah, they like new products. It's not so easy.
So it still goes back to this question of what's the point, because in the end the business model is not exactly the same. I was wondering maybe it's more a kind of a nationalistic, because Chinese people are very nationalistic, right? It's quite hard for a foreign company to penetrate into the Chinese market. So I thought that could be one of the reasons why.
Yeah, that was they didn't want eBay to be inside China. Like what you said, it was more of a
What
national.
the anti-American?
This is something like Facebook also can't be established in China.
Yeah, I think Facebook is still not in China. I think even Google as well, right?
That's why they have to establish the eBay HNet. They have to go together with the HNet before originally China website.
But then in the end, it will be
eBay HNet.
As far as I know, right, Taobao actually introduced one website, it's called Taobao, actually target the Southeast Asia. But why they still use the Chinese language? As what I know, not much of the Southeast Asia country actually use Chinese as a communication language. And they can't really go in the website and buy the stuff because they can't even understand the, you can see on eBay, right, they target China, they change their website language into Chinese. But why Taobao?
Taobao, you mean for Southeast Asia region?
Yes.
Okay, for this, what I think is they really quite success back in China, and now when they want to expand their operation to the other country, they won't really need to change it. So other company, like now you can see a lot of company, they coming up with English website that you can actually order through. You can also order those product from Taobao, but it's an English website.
Like in that case, I need to pay more commission for that third party website.
But in terms, I think not the consumer will be paying. It's like these both two company, maybe see Taobao and this third party company, they will like negotiate and they will bring in more customer for those who don't speak or don't read Chinese.
I think in your presentation, right, you mentioned that when you compare the websites of eBay and Taobao, Taobao's website seems to be more cluttered and there's a lot more information, and apparently the Chinese people like that.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
It was just more like they're like because red and orange is more like is it auspicious? Yeah, it's that auspicious color.
So it's just the color and not so much the.
They like a lot of things. Yeah. Just like you guys know, recently there's a case where the tourists went overseas and they see a lot of buffet. They like just grab everything. They like a lot. They got just like all information.
Oh, the tourists eating the Chinese.
Yeah, the Chinese food. I think it's still back to their roots and their culture. Yeah. Maybe they are not too open-minded in this kind of changes.
They like it a lot. I think it's a lot.
In my own perspective, this is what I think.
Okay, I have one last question, and that would be, after eBay exited China, Amazon went inside, right? But I know that Amazon up to this day is quite popular, quite successful in China. Do you have any idea why that would be the case?
Not really, but maybe they brought in actually maybe they did not make the same mistakes as eBay. Maybe they brought in Chinese speaking people, personnel, and also that people who understood the Chinese market.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, I think that they have learned the full lesson and they know what's the problem actually eBay has faced, and they, like what she said, change the whole system. Like they go send in Chinese speaking personnel, and yeah.
You don't think it's because Amazon has a more niche market? Because you know Amazon, they sell mainly books, right? Of course you can get other things from Amazon, but it's mostly books. So apparently in China, if you want to buy a foreign book, it's quite difficult, right? You gotta still go online, or you gotta get them books. So could that be one of the reasons why it's more successful?
Yeah, I think possible.
You mentioned it's more of a C2C model, right? Then if it's like that, then like actually the extent where the Chinese speaking like personnel helping at the backstage is not that much, right? Because maybe it's like a consumer to consumer. So if I'm a Chinese, then I will directly contact with my consumer who's a Chinese, right? Then why is it that what is the, to what extent does the effect of like a foreign personnel working backstage just on the website itself affect the entire sales?
Because it's a new system, right? They have a lot of questions about the system. So if they are not sure of the system, how it works, they can like ask questions to the people in the company.
I think because eBay did not have, they only could be contacted through email. So they did not have a customer hotline, they did not have any services where buyers and users could communicate directly, or even contact the behind the scenes people. So that would affect the market shares.
Now that eBay has failed, right? So is that will eBay enter China again? After a company fail, right, then you have a negative connotation of this company. So eBay, is there any chance eBay can enter China again? If let's say they understand China better.
Yes, it's possible, but because they actually spend a really relatively huge amount of money during this point of time, so maybe they might actually take a step back and maybe think twice before investing again.
But I think I heard that they were trying to go back into China.
I think before they went to China, they actually went to Japan and then they failed. But then
I think in Japan.
yeah, I think so. Then they went back in.
They tried with Japan.
Yeah. And then
Because let's say like for us right in the future right, like maybe we want to start up our own like so-called like this this thing right. Are there any lessons that we can apply from this? For example, like eBay failed and the local company Pao failed, right? Are there any successful? Sorry. Are there any things that we can learn from this? For us, for example, like we want to create our own.
And what we said in the takeaway message, those are some of the lessons that we can learn from there. That we should study about others' culture first. Since it's an e-commerce, we should know about different cultures. Since it's not, we are just not selling to one person, we are like selling to a lot of people.
You must understand the local needs. Yeah.
yeah, then there's also different culture, foreign phrases. You have to observe. Yeah, there's a few that we mentioned just now.
Send him your son.
Okay, sure.
You can find them in the lecture.
Yeah, intercultural communication.
Is there any other questions? Any other questions that you must ask?
No.
No, nothing else. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.